Hi guys, it's Mrs. C here with Cycle 1, Week 12. I cannot believe we're halfway done. It's gone so fast. It kind of snuck up on me today. I'm also much in denial about Thanksgiving being next week, but here we are. So we will jump right in with today. So we had geography first as usual, and we had the Muslim Empire. I, again, didn't do anything super creative. We just kind of like made up a story. So we said we were in Mecca, and then we just made up little rhymes. So we went to see our friend Tina in Medina. And then Tina needed to get a new dad, so we went up and bagged her a dad up in Baghdad. And then we decided that we didn't want anyone to know our identity, so we wore masks in Damascus. And then we went up to the Gaul/France area, and we took a tour up in Tours. And then we really missed our friend Ria, so we came back to Syria. Nothing, again, this was just like made up on the spot. We were just kind of being silly with it. But we went over all those locations a few times. If you are looking on the map, if you have the app, it will show you like on the app all the locations. But then if you're actually looking at our Blackline Master map, the Damascus is on the blown up section where we had Israel and Judah there. So just if you're trying to find where that is. So I did point out on the main map where that location is, but we also then went and looked at it over on that blown up section just to kind of get a better idea of where it was. So that was all we did for geography. Just went over those several times. Again, with having these older kids, as we're going through these, and because I have several that are going to be going for Memory Masters, we are taking the opportunity to go over the location. So as we were in Mecca and Medina, what area are we in? We are in the Arabian Desert, right? And the Arabian Desert is between the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf. And then if we go over to Damascus, what area was Damascus near? Well, it was near where Phoenicia was, and it's on top of Israel, it's on top of Judah, and what seas are around there. So just taking the opportunity to try to connect all of these locations for them. Sometimes when I've learned them before, I haven't really connected them into all the other geography locations. So I'm trying to really do that this year. I talked about Baghdad, that it's up near the Tigris River, but it's not in between the rivers. The one in between the rivers is Babylon. Just, again, helping them, especially as they're going for Memory Master, try to find ways to distinguish these different locations on the map. So we did our review in geography through that time. Since, again, I have several in my class that are attempting Memory Master, I just stayed on the Africa side of the map, and we kind of jumped all the way back to the beginning and went through whatever locations we had on the Africa side of the map. If you are wanting to do that, if you look in the back, you can go back onto the proofing sheets. But I actually just jumped back onto page 72 and used my map with the locations on there just so that I could remember what we had covered and what was covered on there. So anyway, that was geography. So after geography, we went right into math. I don't remember how long I've been tutoring at this point, but the first time I tutored this, which I think must have been my second year, since I didn't jump in until the second semester, and this is always in the first semester, but I made up to the tune of Happy Birthday. 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons equals 1 fluid ounce. And I have just always used that. So that's what I did today. And also, I think last year, the year before, I saw somebody did something real cute where they were pretending to be very fancy and drinking out of their teacup. And when you do it like this, you have 3 fingers to help you remember 3 teaspoons. And they went 3 teaspoons, and then they slapped their hand on the table. Sorry, shook the camera, and came back up for 1 tablespoon. And then 2 hands, slap, slap, 2 tablespoons equals 1 fluid ounce. So that's another way to do it. We just said it a few times. I erased the numbers off of my board, and we had said it without the numbers up there. And then, that was all how we did math. It's so nice not to be on the multiplication tables anymore. Oh my goodness. So after we did that, we jumped over into our prepositions, which, again, finishing up with that this week. If you do have the older kids, remind them that they, at this point, if they know the list, that they have learned the first 12 weeks. And so all they have to do is learn the second half of the year for Memory Master, and that's more lists too. So they're halfway to getting it for English. So that's really awesome. So again, I have these. None of my kids use these today, but if you still have kids that are learning them, it's on page 64. It has all the prepositions and the definition. So we reviewed the definition, and then I give each student a chance to say the entire list. They all did awesome. And the only part that any of them, I wouldn't even say them necessarily got wrong, but they just kind of were going too fast, messed up on, was near, of, off. So just make sure you're pointing those out to them as they're going through, that there are of and off is in there. It kind of goes fast in the song, or the chant. So we went around. I have 7 kids, so that was our 7 time for prepositions. So then we went to Latin. We've had this last week. Again, what's really awesome with Latin is if they have all 5 declensions and they can do the, I can't remember the nominative, subject, genitive, possessive, all of that. If they can do all of that, then they have all of their Latin done for the whole year. So there's another subject, if they're going for Memory Master, that they already have down. So we just went through and sang the chant for Latin as I was kind of gathering up stuff and putting things away. We just sang through our chant a few times. They're so they're so cute, and they sound like, today I felt like we were like the Von Trapps singing our Latin declensions. So we sang through that twice, and then we were done with that. I went to history. Oh, I didn't bring them in. Did I? No. But I brought out my little guitars again. And if you go to the dollar store or the Dollar Tree, a lot of times they have little tiny plastic guitars. They're like this big, and they are perfect for playing these songs. They make just enough sound to be satisfying, but not so much sound that they're really distracting. And for this song, they had asked me to bring them in again because they loved them the last time. And this song kind of went along well with it. So we went through, and again, we pointed out that we were doing the Muslim Empire, which was our geography that we learned. And it was in the Arabian Peninsula. So we talked about where the Arabian Peninsula is. And Mecca, we just learned where Mecca was. So we pointed out Mecca. And we talked about the Ottoman Turks. And I showed them the card from Timeline, because the Ottoman Turks are in our timeline. And we laughed at it. Looks like they have a big bulb of garlic on their head. So anyway, we just listened to history a few times. By the last time, we didn't even need the music, and they were able to sing along with it. So then we went to science, and I have voice cards, and I had meant to bring them last week and forgot to. So I brought them this week. They have all different things on them. I kind of went through and picked out some of the ones that I don't personally like as much, or I felt like they wouldn't like. I gave everybody or let them pick a different card, and then we went around and they said some of the plant systems in whatever voice it was. So for example, we had one that was pirate speak. So whoever had it was like, what are some plant systems? And then we said, and then repeated the rest of it. So these are available if you look up on Pinterest. If you just look up voice and action cards, you can find these and print them off. They're not anything that is like copyrighted or anything that is special to CC or on CC Connected. I just looked up voice/action cards and found these. So there's tons of them. There's pirate, volcano, opera, royal highness, like a cheetah, like a turtle, monster voice, baby, hula, whisper. I gave them the option because some of my boys don't like a lot of attention on them, which is fine. So I gave them the option that they could hand it off to me if they didn't want to do it themselves. So I would do it for them. That was science. For timeline today, we reviewed the whole timeline while playing musical chairs today. So we had extra time at the end. We just did really well on time today, probably because we didn't have to do math facts. So we just reviewed our whole timeline doing musical chairs at the end of class. So, because it was week 12 and they love doing that. But yeah, we finished up Tin Whistle today and did Tin Whistle Karate. And I brought in, I will try to put the links down below. I brought in Tin Whistle sheet music for the Imperial March and Tin Whistle sheet music for Everything is Awesome. So sometimes people have a hard time finding the links that I'm talking about. So under this video, there should be a little thing that says description and a little arrow next to it pointing down. And if you click that arrow, a box will open up with a description of this video. And in that box, I will put the links to those if I can find them and link them again. But the Imperial March is more difficult. I will say there are some high notes. They have a little plus sign underneath them and some different fingerings that we've learned. But as I told them all today, this is all their last time having to do 10 whistle, which I got really sad about last night. I can't believe that. So anyway, we did that. I let them pick which one they wanted to work on. They could take both of them home if they wanted to. The Everything is Awesome sheet music is all normal fingerings. That's pretty straightforward with how to play. So it would work well even for some of the younger classes too. So then for review, I made one of those super awesome punch boards that I've seen so many of you make with the cups, and you put the tissue paper over them and they can punch through. I don't know typically how everybody plays it because I just see the boards and think, oh, that's so cute. One of these days I'll do that. But today what I did was, again, week 12, I brought some candy in, and they all started off with 3 pieces of candy. And then we would do a review. I brought my flashcards in. So we would do a review question, and then they each took a turn going up and punching through to see what was inside their cup. So some of the cups just had a couple extra pieces of candy in it. And then some of the cups had different, I guess you'd call them action cards. So they were things like, let's see, everyone gets an extra piece of candy. Everyone loses 1 piece of candy. Everyone pass their pile of candy to the right. Put all the candy in the middle and divide evenly. Girls, give all your candy to the boys. Boys, give all your candy to the girls. Let's see if there are any more. Trade your candy pile with anyone. And take 1 piece of candy from each student. So they're just all different ones in there. I think by the end it ended up that pretty much everybody had almost the same amount of candy. But yeah, so they would answer a question. Because we already reviewed geography, we did timeline the whole way, and our prepositions we are already doing in class. That only leaves me with 4 other subjects to do. So that makes it a lot easier to get through to do a game like this. When I have found over my years that if you do a game that takes too much time away from the actual review, you're not going to get through all the review. So I try to focus on doing something that we can actually get through all the review in. So since I only end up having 4 different subjects to get through, the punch game worked well today. But anyway, so yeah, you just cover them with tissue paper and a rubber band, and then they can punch through them. I have it on the foam board, but I would suggest if you have one of like the little pointer sticks that a lot of the tutors, I know that a lot of us use for our boards, to let them use that to kind of punch through. It's a lot easier and it won't bust up your board. So anywho, okay, I think that's everything. I can't believe we're done. Winter break. It's crazy. So, all right, well, I guess I will see you guys back in January next year with week 13. I hope you have an awesome break. I may pop on here with, I don't know, an update, as some people have asked about my lupus and my autoimmune stuff. So I may be back on here with that, or I may just take a break. I don't know. Anyway, but I hope you guys have an awesome break, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I hope God blesses you in the new year. And we will see you back definitely for week 13 in January. Bye.